Thank you all for being here, for gathering, for what should be a very exciting announcement today. It is so wonderful to see so many leaders that have worked for so long on Interstate 73 represented here in this room today. We would not be at this point if it were not for all of your efforts. When it comes to advocacy and legislative priorities, there is no project that does more for public safety and economic development than Interstate 73. That's why it has been such a high priority for this community.
I believe that I-73 will be a transformative component in South Carolina's future economic prosperity. This new interstate will connect supply chains to efficiently move goods and services across our state and infrastructure that connects our people to jobs, health care, and education. The Grand Strand contributes mightily to our state's economy through a variety of use taxes such as sales tax, hospitality tax, gas tax, among others. According to the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Tourism, 2 counties, Georgetown and Horry, were responsible for about 37% of the statewide tax revenue visitors to South Carolina generated in 2019. Georgetown generated about $44 million in state and local taxes from visitor expenditures. Horry generated about $508 million in state and local taxes from visitor expenditures. It has been reported that the completion of I-73 may create 29,000 new jobs and pump billions of new dollars into the Grand Strand and PD regions. It will create economic development opportunities for the surrounding communities. In addition, I-73 will help save the lives of Grand Strand residents and visitors by providing a critical means of evacuation in the event of a hurricane or natural disaster, and in some cases will reduce evacuation times by up to 15 hours, which is critical. Most of you will remember back in September 2018, Hurricane Florence came to visit and dumped massive amounts of rainfall on eastern North Carolina, most of which came into South Carolina along with the rainfall that landed here. It created catastrophic flooding along the Lynches, Great PD, Little PD, and Waccamaw rivers, surpassing anything recorded in modern history. Access to the Grand Strand was threatened by these historic rising floodwaters. The roads and bridges leading in and out of Myrtle Beach and the Grand Strand were poised to breach and be washed out. This would have cut off access to Myrtle Beach and the Grand Strand for weeks, even months. There never has been a better example of why we need to build I-73. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and we may be taking the most significant step towards making I-73 a reality. If we seize this moment by thinking big, being bold, and making transformative, permanent investments, we can enormously enhance South Carolina's very bright future.
In 1973, the need for Interstate 73 was first identified as a priority for this area. That's nearly 50 years ago, when the population of Horry County was approximately 70,000 people. So just think about that. 50 years ago, somebody said we needed this interstate, and the population was only 70,000 people in this area. By 1991, that population figure had doubled. And in 1991, Congress took action and noted the need for I-73 by designating it a high priority corridor in the Federal Surface Transportation Program. Since that time of 1991, our delegation has sent nearly $100 million here to South Carolina that's been matched with $20 million in state funds to get the project to where it is today, shovel ready. So that means permits in hand, right-of-way acquired, plans worked on, basically waiting for the funding to come to build it. So here we are today. South Carolina is the 10th fastest growing state in the nation, which I know you all know, certainly in this area. This region is bursting at the seams, as you know, today. Reference the 70,000 people back in 1973 when this project was first envisioned. As of the 2020 census, the population in Horry County alone is at 351,000 plus people. So 5 times higher than when this project was first envisioned nearly 50 years ago. The need for this project is urgent and is critical. US 501 and other highways in the area are extremely congested during the peak times of summer, and that's not going to get any better. That's just going to continue to get worse, especially without this highway. Based on our projections, I-73 would improve travel times by as much as 30% in the area, and it would create a positive economic development climate for this region, including the other counties, Dillon, Marion, all the other counties along the way, which are in desperate need of that boost from an economic development standpoint.
Essentially, 2/3 of our tourism comes from the coast, east of Interstate 95. The Grand Strand is about half of that 2/3. The bottom line, the Grand Strand is the heartbeat of tourism in South Carolina. It's critical that we have another artery that leads to that heartbeat, both when visitors are coming in and to get them out in cases of hurricanes.
Diversified industry. If you look at our wages in Horry County, they're too low. They're too low. And too often, one thing that really, really frustrates me in Horry County, even on the Grand Strand here, with the seasonal jobs, if our kids want to have good jobs, our best and brightest, guess what they have to do? They have to leave. And they go to the Charlestons and the Columbias and the Greenvilles. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of that. This will give us an opportunity to attract diversified industry. We need to protect tourism, but we need more industry with steady, high-paying jobs so we can keep our best and brightest here, right? Now, it'll help the Grand Strand, sure, but it'll also help the Marion counties and the Dillon counties and the Marlboro counties. Now, if you don't believe me, I always say infrastructure is opportunity. If you don't believe me, look at something else that Governor McMaster and Christy Hall were involved in, the Dillon Inland Port. They put a little piece of the Charleston Port in Dillon, South Carolina, right off of I-95. In 2 years, 2,000 jobs. When I took office in 2012, the unemployment rate in Marion County was 16.6%. Those folks didn't have a chance. They didn't have a chance. After the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act and trade reform and regulatory reform and the Dillon Inland Port, a little piece of infrastructure right in the middle of those very poor counties. The unemployment rate just before COVID in Marion County fell as low as 3.8%. There is nothing that I am more proud of than that.
Not only is the Myrtle Beach area one of the top tourist destinations in the country, but Horry County is the fastest growing county in the state. And the fact is that we have no interstate connectivity. But that's going to change. I-73 will provide both our residents and our visitors a safer pathway in and out of our city, especially during hurricane evacuations and reentry. This road will help us to create more jobs by diversifying our economy, and it will increase local and state tax revenues. Simply put, I-73 is great for everyone, and it is our pathway to progress.
It will give our visitors a direct route to our beaches, thereby relieving strain on our local infrastructure and making commuting easier for our rapidly growing county. It will create a boon for economic development partners to provide necessary infrastructure to entice investment in Horry County, thereby diversifying our economy beyond simply hospitality, medical, and professional services, but will also help us to attract manufacturing, tech, pharmaceuticals, biotechnology, and medical services.
But at the same time, we'll be processing funds, looking at local road improvement, simultaneously working with the local government in building roads and making improvements to complement I-73.
It will free up our other highways where we are now seeing so many traffic jams during our tourist season. And it will further ensure that tourism, which is our primary industry, can continue to grow in a responsible manner.
If you want to get anything accomplished, anything really major or minor accomplished in state government, you better look at this as a game of addition. It is a game of building relationships. It's a game of listening to one another and understanding one another's positions and coming to a consensus and working together to build something good.